Luke Evans of Beauty and the Beast and Dame Penelope Wilton of Downton Abbey.
Now they're taking to the stage as a leading duo in Backstairs Billy. Now, it's a comedy, a royal comedy that centres around a true, long-standing friendship between the Queen Mother and her butler, Billy Talon. Well, lovely to see you both. I didn't know anything about this. I knew about Mrs. Brown and Queen Victoria, and we've been talking about other partnerships, haven't we? Paul Burrell and Diana.
And then the Queen's dresser, what was her name?
Angela Kelly.
Angela Kelly.
But so this is it looks like the original royal partnership.
Well, I didn't know anything about it either, but it was a very well-known... William Talon, who Luke plays, was a very well-known person, and he came when she was 15, when he was 15, and he stayed with her until she died when she was 101. Wow. Yeah.
Amazing.
And they went through all sorts of things together. And as she got older, he became more and more important to her because she didn't get out so much.
Right.
And she was I think she was quite lonely. So he made her life much more exciting than it would have been.
She's also really unusual, isn't she, the Queen Mother, because we almost never heard her speak in public. In The Crown, there's a view of her.
Yes.
In Spitting Image, a rather raucous view of her, but everybody has to make it up. How do you, Penelope, as a character actor, how do you decide her voice and how to play her when you don't have anything which you can hear to draw upon?
Well, I can't turn into the Queen Mother because I'm not the Queen Mother. I'm 5'6" and she was 5'3" in a completely different shape to me, which I have done. We have done. We've made the silhouette correct.
Right.
Because otherwise, if you don't do that, you're on a hiding to nothing. You have to look like her.
Yeah.
And there is a little bit of film when Alistair Burnett went down to film her when she was 90, when she walked through her garden. And she talks quite sort of with her private secretary, and she talks about the garden and the little house that was built for Princess Margaret and Princess Elizabeth then. And so there was that. And I've got other little bits. But you really see her in her official role. So I've had to make it up. I mean, this is a fictitious play.
Yes,
but
it's a real friendship.
Oh, it was a real
play.
friendship. And Billy played an enormous part in her life.
Yeah.
They were great entertainers and they liked to drink.
Well,
Right.
right.
Obviously enjoyed a glass of sherry before lunch.
Yeah, yes. She also liked Dubonnet and gin.
Yes, she
which
did.
was her tipple.
Together.
Oh, yes.
2/3 of a Negroni.
Yes. And
Luke, tell us
Luke
about...
has tried it, and it's quite strong.
Oh, really?
Very strong.
So you don't have it on stage?
Yeah, I make it every night. I make a triple gin and Dubonnet because I top up the Queen Mother's drink 3 times.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the play, I make a real one, and it gets a laugh every night because the people are seeing how much is going into the mixture, and little do they realise the Queen Mother's going to drink it.
Oh, who was he then, Luke? Tell us about Billy and what kind of character he was and how he became such a good friend of the Queen Mum.
Well, I mean, he was a gay man who was brought up in Coventry. He left. He had aspirations of... he had dreams, I guess, and his dream was he had this sort of healthy obsession with the royal family, but specifically with the Queen Mother, who was Queen Elizabeth at the time, and used to send her letters from the age of 12. Wanting to work.
He had the job.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then at 15, he finally got a job at the palace, and then, ended up working for the Queen Mother when she became the Queen Mother and moved to Clarence House. And he found his feathers and his wings, I think, in the house in Clarence House, and he rose through the ranks. I mean, he wasn't at the top by a long shot, but a page of the Backstairs was a very private, intimate position to be as close to the Queen as he was.
Which part of Penelope are you obsessed by in the play?
I'm obsessed with everything about Penelope, and I'm learning from Penelope every day. But he was a character. He was a socialite. I mean, the amount of people that have been to see the show, that have sent letters, that knew him very, very well.
Oh, yes.
It's extraordinary.
And what are they saying?
Oh, well, the nicest one was that a man who sent a lovely letter, who was a friend of his, he said, thank you for allowing me to share an evening with my friend from, after 16 years. He said it was like he was standing in front of me. Wow. Which is, to me, was like the nicest thing I could read,
Luke, what I find remarkable about all the partnerships that we've mentioned is, and particularly in this case, after the Queen Mother died, what happened to Billy? Because it was like they're cast out. These very close
Well, I think
confidants.
That, he was very much connected to the Queen Mother, and so I suppose, we don't really know exactly what happened, but he did retire and went to live in a very different life to the one he had only known within this house, which clearly wasn't.
Other powerful people around the royal family tend to resent the people who become very close to the Queen.
Oh, and he was resented.
He was?
Yes, he was. He was resented. I think with the rest of the staff, he was when the old guard went, so he went. And he couldn't cope with real life.
He was too close to the Queen Mother in their view.
In many...
But I do think out of all the royal family, I think Charles was the one that kept in touch. Kept an eye on him and checked in on him, which is nice to know.
Do you think the King will come and see the play?
I'd love him to come and see the play. Whether he